Now that looks like some really good ground because it took about 2 taps to drive that thing in almost a foot. For a guy that lives in the rock country, this makes me incredibly jealous. What is up, Fence Fam? If you've watched this channel for any length of time, then you know what this is. Jeremy's gone out and scoured the YouTube interwebs and found us another fencing-related video that he thought that you would like to watch me review. If you like this video, it would mean the world if you gave it a like. It lets YouTube know that we're up to good business. And also, if you're not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing so that you get notified each and every time we've got new content available. With all that being said, let's get into it. All right, everybody. So this video is titled One Man Fencing Crew. It's by the Bellstone Fence channel. As always, for a link to the original video, check out the description below. So I've seen at least portion of this video. I believe it was on Facebook. Someone had shared it or something like that. This is an absolutely ingenious setup here. So let's watch it. So it's obviously a one-man setup, which is really nice. Now, I like that he's carrying along all the posts he's going to need, or at least a fair amount of posts that he's going to need with him as he goes. It's stranding out. It's running out the barbed wire as he goes too. So it's a slick little contraption there. So I'm guessing that he's replacing an existing fence, an old fence. I don't really see any marks as for exactly where the posts are supposed to go as far as layout or really where the line of fence is going. Typically, you'd have survey markers or some sort of layout ready for you when you're running these posts so that you don't make a mistake and end up fencing in the neighbor's property. But like I said, just looking at how the grass is cut here, it looks like he's probably replacing an existing fence. He's already got a really good idea of where that fence is supposed to go. So I'm guessing that the chain running down off the driver head here lets him know when they're set deep enough. Now, I don't know. He's probably eyeballing in the Plumb, and on this style of fence, I don't know that Plumb is as critical as in others. So some of the systems I've seen, primarily the ProTech, it has a leveling function or a plumbing function. Excuse me. That way you can check the plumb of the post while it's driving it. But yeah, this looks like kind of like the first version of what the ProTechs later became. This obviously probably isn't a ProTech. I don't know what it is. It is neat that it's all self-contained. So he's got his air compressor there with his staple gun. He is literally a one-man fencing crew. Adjust the height of the barbed wire. Nice. So the gentleman running the camera seems to be measuring it somehow. So he's telling him he needed a little bit more length for the next post, and then he indicated that that's where the post needed to go. So there might be something off screen just letting us know or letting him know exactly what the measurements are, the post spacing measurements are. That is a slick system. So he's also carrying his barbed wire with him that he would use to replace these rolls when they're gone. So I don't know if Custom Fencing is the brand or the name of the company. If you guys know, let me know in the comments below. I like how this already spaces out the barbed wire perfectly. That way you're not trying to just you're not having to measure and then try to adjust spacing between the barbed wire. Now that looks like some really good ground because it took about 2 taps to drive that thing in almost a foot. For a guy that lives in the rock country, this makes me incredibly jealous. This drives so easy. I mean, if you were a company that was set up for ag fence and you had 1 or 2 of these machines, you could really lay out some fence. Can't imagine how much you would run out. I tell you what, if you're an ag fencer that's used to using systems like this, the ProTech or what have you, let me know. How many feet of fence could you reasonably lay out in a day? I know it's going to depend on how many corners, how much bracing, that sort of thing, but give me a general idea. As a guy that doesn't install ag fence, what kind of production can a machine like this put out? I've got to think it's a ton. So obviously one thing it's doing too is, the sprockets that this barbed wire is running through must have some sort of tensioner in them, because that barbed wire looks incredibly tight after it goes through the roller. But if you look at the barbed wire before the rollers, it looks fairly loose. It's obviously it doesn't have tension on it there. So something about those wheels also puts tension on the barbed wire. So again, you're not having to run it all out and then apply tension at your brace or at your corner. It's tensioning as it goes. Really slick setup. I think I've said that like 100 times now. So I guess that chain could also be showing plumb. I mean, just like a plumb line, right? But when that thing gets to driving, really gets to bouncing, that chain goes a little bit everywhere. So I guess you could check plumb with it in the beginning and at the end. Be interested to see if there is a way of checking it while it's driving it. I'm guessing it seems like he's done this a time or two, so he's probably got a pretty good eye for it. So see, he adjusted it right there. So I'm guessing he's just eyeing this in. It was out of plumb, and then he moved the driving head over, which moved the entire post, and he continues to drive it nice and plumb. Incredible how fast you can drive these posts in really nice ground. Well, that seems like it's it. Let me know what you guys think about this equipment. I think if you live in an area where you can drive posts, it would add a ton of production to your operation and your bottom line. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But until next time, I'm Joe Everest, the fence expert, reminding you that good fences make good neighbors.